one Maven project. Okay, we added all the required folders. Then we just created one test test case, okay, which has multiple tests in it. First one is home page title test. See whether after opening the home page, whether the home page got opened or whether we are on the same page, correct page or not, by verifying the title. In the second test, we verified the functionality of sign in button, right? In the home page, if you click on sign in button or sign in link, will be taken to sign in page. Similarly, sign up page. Today I have this one. I have will create another class for uh, login page test. Okay. So this is our Yahoo page. So I'm talking about this page. Clicking on this link, I'm talking about this page. Now, if we want to write test for login page, okay. Okay, so for that, I'll create a new test under source main Java test package. We'll name it okay login page test. I have come prepared with this test, okay, so that it don't consume much time. Okay, so this is one test, login functionality test with @test annotation. We need to import all these okay, and so now all errors are gone. So what this test does, so okay, here I'll delete this. Actually, this in this test, what I have done is I'll first open home page. Okay, click on sign in. Okay, once I am on this page, I'll enter this in the email field. I am locating this email field, that is this field. Okay, and sending these keys. Okay, that is basically my Yahoo ID. This is a valid Yahoo ID. So I can use this also, yahoo.com, yahoomail.com, right? Yahoo Mail or Yahoo? Okay.
Yahoo Mail, I think.
Okay. Then, so basically, even if you don't give that @yahoomail.com, it will work. Okay. So we'll just remove that. So enter that value here. I'll just manually show the steps. Okay. So I'll click next. Next thing is password. The password is again the same thing with the last three characters being 100 instead of 001. Click sign in. So I am logged in. Okay. So now I'll run the same thing here.
Yahoo.com అనుకుంటాను.
Yahoo.com.
అదే హాట్మెయిల్ దానికి కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అయ్యాము.
ఓకే,
అసలు యూజ్ చేయట్లేదు చాలా ఇయర్స్ నుంచి.
అవునవును, వాడట్లేదు. నేను దీనికోసమని ఈరోజు క్రియేట్ చేసా ఒకటి. ఓకే, రన్ చేద్దాం. యాక్చువల్గా చివరిలో ఏం లేకుండానే రన్ అయిపోద్ది run as test ng test. Okay, sign in is successful. No, it is quit. So this is the functionality. I have automated the same thing. Okay. Now there is another test. Okay, let us keep this step test for now. Okay. Now the first thing that I am going to discuss today is, so far it's very plain test. Like it's we can call it a raw test. Like the basic raw steps. You directly hard coded all the values. Okay. You are directly calling the driver in your test case itself. Okay, and you have not used any weights, and you use this thread dot slips which are not supposed to be. Okay, so this is not an intended way of writing the test case. Now, so we'll start improving this test case, okay, or constructing this in a better way. Okay, okay, first thing I'll start with WebDriver factory. Okay, page object I'll explain after this. Okay, suppose this is your if you want to run your tests on Chrome driver, you are doing this. Suppose if you want to run your tests on Firefox driver, then you need to do this. Okay, you need to do this. Basically, we need to come up with an utility to which, if you pass just the browser name from your test case, it should be able to open the browser of your choice. Okay, set all the driver level stuff to it. Okay, like its page load time out, implicit weight, okay, whatever the factors. Okay, and return you that driver object. Okay, for that what I'll do, I'll create a new package. Oh, okay, that's WebDriver factory I have already created. In it, I'm creating a new class. Okay, I'll name it browser factory. Okay, here I'll create a method which returns WebDriver object, and I'll name it get browser. Okay, and it will take browser name as parameter, string browser name. Okay, first the browser name if the browser name equals ignore case, okay, equals ignore case Chrome, suppose, what I'll do, return. Okay, we'll just create a WebDriver object here. Ramu, Ramu.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Okay, mute చేసుకుంటాం. Okay, here driver equal to new Chrome driver. Okay, else if browser name equals ignore case equal to Firefox Then driver equal to new Firefox driver, else if browser name ignore case equal to IE, say driver equal to new uh, IE Internet Explorer driver. Okay. Finally, so you return driver. Okay. And before returning driver, we can do these things also. We can set all driver level parameters here itself. Driver dot manage dot uh, timeout timeouts, set implicitly wait. I would like to put a maximum implicit wait of 10,000 milliseconds, that equal to 10 seconds milliseconds. Okay. So similarly, I can put another timeout, page load timeout. Okay. I also want to put a page load timeout of a maximum of 15 seconds. Okay. And you can do stuff like driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Okay. So all driver level configurations, you instantiating your browser, okay, and setting up all the browser level configurations, you do all this in your get browser method, or in this class, browser factory class. Okay. So in every test case, wherever you want to open some browser, instead of writing this code explicitly like this, okay, like this, and again setting timeouts and all the stuffs, okay, you can, now you have put that into a separate method, so that you can reuse it wherever you want. Okay. And just regarding these two timeouts, so this is the maximum timeout, this one, this implicit wait, maximum time uh, to wait for a web element. Okay. Whereas the first one, maximum time to wait for page to load. Okay. So here basically, so page to load means whenever you do this driver dot get some URL, okay, so it takes some time for the page to get loaded. Okay. That can be some 5 seconds. If the websites are quick, they quickly get loaded. If some websites are slow, they get some time to get loaded. Okay. So basically, if you want to, if you set this timeout, okay, this page load timeout, it will wait for a maximum of 15 seconds for the page to load. If in 15 seconds the page has not yet loaded and it's still revolving over here, okay, like this, it's still loading, then what it does, okay, it will throw error and quit execution. That is page load timeout. And this window dot maximum is by default, browser window gets opened, that is small window. Okay. When you do this, it will make the window big. Okay. Now all that we need to do is make use of this method in your test case. Here I'll change this now. I'll remove this also, I don't want this. What I'll do, first create object of this class browser factory. and I name the object as browser factory only. Okay, equal to new. After that, you need to do this equal to browser factory dot get browser. I need to pass the name of the browser. So suppose if I want to execute test on Chrome browser, I'll pass Chrome. Okay, and we forgot this also. Okay, these are all browser level configurations, right? So we'll set this system dot set property WebDriver Chrome driver equal to this one. Similarly, for Firefox browser, the property name is it's WebDriver dot gecko driver. Okay, the value being drivers slash Firefox, sorry, gecko driver dot exe, right? In our drivers, I downloaded it, gecko driver dot exe. Similarly, we need to add property for Internet Explorer driver also. For now, I am not going to show that to you. Okay, now, so if you want to open Firefox browser, okay, so as soon as when we call this method, these two lines get executed. That means they get set these two properties. Okay, now if it opens Chrome browser, it uses this property. If it opens Firefox browser, it uses this property. Okay, yes, and from here I have removed that also. Similarly, simply I put browser factory, new browser factory. The browser name that I want to, the browser in which I want to open my test case or run my test, I call that. I pass the value here. See, now it has opened in Chrome browser. Now it has maximized the window. Okay, so this time instead of Chrome, I'll pass Firefox. See, it has opened Firefox browser. Okay, what happened? Failed. Actual and expected login page titles are not matching. Expected Yahoo mail, but found Yahoo login. Okay, we'll run it again. It seems it failed again. Where did it fail? Actual and expected login page titles are not matching. Okay, Yahoo login. Suppose if I run this in Chrome browser, It's working fine in Chrome browser, but it's not working in Firefox browser. Let us see. Let us debug this. Okay, I'll put a debug point here. Mm, okay, now we are in debug mode. Okay, we'll do F6. It has clicked sign in button. Expected sign in with Yahoo login. Driver.get title. Yahoo login. Okay, it passed. It has sent the key here. Next button dot click here. Next password field. Sending the keys. Okay, it is successful. Maybe it's a problem of some synchronization. That means we need to do a proper we need to put a proper weight so that it will not fail. Okay, we'll do that. I'll show in our next in coming classes. I'll show how to handle them properly while explaining page object repository model. I'll uh, give explicit timeouts for each web element separately. Okay, so for now, since our tests are passed running successfully in Chrome browser, so yeah, in Firefox also they are running, okay, but we need to put some proper weight so that it passes in Firefox also. Okay, now we have put this Chrome. So, so this is about WebDriver factory. So now, wherever you want to, in if there are 100 tests, okay, all that you need to do is just call this method by creating object of this class like this. Okay, first I created an object. Okay, then call this method on that object. Okay, pass the browser name. So this method takes care of opening the browser of your choice, setting up all the timeouts. Okay, and doing all the driver level stuff. Okay, and there are few Selenium advanced concept like capabilities, profiles in Firefox. There are profiles in Chrome browser. There are options. Okay, so there are advanced settings that you can do on browser level. You can do them from here also. In fact you have to do them here only. Okay, so this is about WebDriver factory. So in fact, we need to create a static object, static WebDriver object, okay, and we need to uh, use that object, okay. But to make things simple, I'm just using very simple Java language, okay. I'm not using any static, okay. Um, if I use static, if you remember, static means that is one per class, not one per object. That means once you create, that is same throughout your execution. Okay, so you cannot from multiple classes you cannot create multiple objects, okay, and call this method so that it gives multiple WebDriver instance. It is not like that. If it is static, that is one per class. Even if there are multiple classes calling the same method, every class will point to the same object, that is same browser. Okay, let's not go into details. This is in simple language I created this WebDriver factory. Okay, next, if you see these two tests, the next topic that I am going to discuss is page object model. Okay, so this is very important, okay, and very easy. Okay, so what is page object model? So in Selenium, we mostly deal with web elements. Okay, we might be interacting with one or more web elements. So always, so you are interacting with web elements. Suppose there is a web element which is being acted upon in multiple tests. Okay, and in each test, uh, if you are directly hard coding any locator for that element, okay, if it is that if that web element is used in 100 tests, if you hard coded that locator in all the 100 tests, in future if you want to change anything related to that web element, you need to go and change it in 100 places. So that is biggest drawback. To avoid that situation, what we do, for every page we create a separate test case, separate class. We can call that as a repository of that page. Okay, that page object repository. There we declare that web element, use whatever locator that is suitable for it. Then from all the tests, wherever you are accessing this element, you just reuse that method. Okay, let me give an example. See, in this is home page test, this is login page test. In home page test, for testing sign in button test, okay, what I am doing, so first I am opening this browser, okay, like this, opening the home page, okay, then clicking sign in, okay, and checking whether I am on the sign in page or not by verifying the title of the page. That is about this first test case, right? This test case, sign in button test. See, first, okay, we'll in login page test, right? I'll change all the test first. Okay, what I need to do, browser factory driver, okay. So in all my tests, now instead of using this, okay, I'll use this. Okay, because since now I have WebDriver factory ready, okay, I can reuse it in all my tests, okay, that I have done. Okay, now coming back to this object repository, page object repository. If I if if you see the tests of this test case, what I am doing, first I am opening this in.mail.yahoo.com, that is home page, okay, not the login page. This is the home page. Here, as usual, I am verifying whether I am on the correct page or not by verifying the title of it. Okay, then looking for this sign in button, that is this button. Okay, clicking on that button, okay, just verifying that I am on the Yahoo login page or not. Okay, this is taking the title, okay, just comparing the title. So this is about first test. Similarly, for the second test, what I am doing, and I'm looking for, instead of sign in button, I'm looking for sign up button, right? Sign up button. Okay, this is about the first class. If I go to second class, for testing the sign in functionality, that is login functionality, what I am doing, I am repeating all the steps until this. So first opening this home page, okay, then clicking on sign in button, okay. After that, since this is my login test, here I am trying to give all the credentials, okay. So common step in these two tests is clicking on the sign in button, okay. So common step from this sign in button test and login functionality test is clicking on the sign in button. Okay, in the first test, or in the first class, the test, here see, I have written this code, web element sign in button driver dot find element by xpath. Okay, the same locator I am using here also, because I need to click on the same element only, okay, using find element by xpath. Okay, so this is the same, since the same element is being acted upon in two different tests. Okay, I am trying to locate that element in both the tests. Suppose if there are 10 more tests which need to interact with this sign in button, I need to add the same piece of code in all the 10 more tests. In that case, suppose in future this XPath is changed. For some reason, this suppose your XPath is not working, you need to go for some other locator, then you need to modify this, right? If you want to modify, we need to go and modify in all the 10 places where this button or this element being acted upon. So so that is not a right way of handling the elements. So what we need to do is, we need to pull out the elements per page, or first identify the pages that you want to test. For each page, create one separate class. Okay, that class contains all the methods, which returns all the elements present in that page. Okay, let me start with that. So here I'll create a new package. I'll name it page object repository. Okay, for that, since first I'll create an object repository for home page. um, New class home page object repository. Okay, in this I'll add methods per element. Web element, mm, get, this is my home page, right? Get sign in button element. Okay, to this, the parameter that I need to pass is our web driver. I need to pass the driver object to it. Web driver. Okay, so this method should return sign in button element. Okay, for sign in button we have already identified one locator, that is this one. Okay, and return sign in button. Okay, return sign in button. So this will simply return. Now here what I will do, okay, this is your sign in button. Similarly, there is sign up button also in this space. Sign up button. Okay, this is sign up button. So basically I have created a separate class for this home page. This home page object repository contains methods for all the web elements present in that page. Public web element. Okay, may I add this here? Sign up. And the locator being this one. Okay, so this will return my sign up button. Okay, and in my alt s, what I'll do, create object of this homepage repository class. Okay, suppose here, um, while starting the test case itself, what I'll do, so this is for this is my sign in button, right? I don't want to use this. I'll create object of this homepage object repository. See, equal to new home page object repository. Okay, we need to import that. Then I'll do this web element sign in button equal to homepage object repository dot get sign in button element. To this I am passing the web driver that I have already instantiated here. Okay, see, and I can do click. All I did is I replaced this with this code. Okay, similarly for sign up button, I'll change it to sign up button. Okay, I'll remove this. Similarly in login page test, that is another class, we'll do this. Wherever I need sign in button, I'll go and replace this with, okay, here this is sign in button, right? I don't want this. I would replace this with this. Okay, okay, now see, so this sign in button being accessed from two different tests. So one from this class and another test from this class. Okay, so suppose if, as I said, if for some reason if your um, element locator changes or your XPath locator changes, suppose if it changes to 2, okay, now what all that I need to do is just change this in common place. Okay, this will get reflected everywhere because this method is being called everywhere. Okay, in previous case when we not implemented this object repository, okay, we need to go and modify this value everywhere where it was used. Now it has made our life easy. Okay, so this is briefly about object repository. So similarly, I'll create another object repository, new class for login, login page object repository. Okay, see in this home page object repository, there are other elements too. So this is my home page, right? There are multiple elements. So since we are just looking at the examples of these two functionality and these two elements, I just added these. Suppose if in you are adding a new test to test the functionality of the support link, so all that you do is you create a third method for that support link. Okay, so you go on adding as per your requirement. If I go to login page, so which is the login page? This is, so if I, after clicking it, here I am. Okay, this is the login page. So first I need to identify this element. Then I need to identify this element. Okay, and okay, in my test, this login page test, I have this locator for these things. Actual sign in page title. Okay, then see, this is email field. Then this is next button. Okay, this is my email field. Just copy and paste them here, and my next button. Okay, so see. So see, this is email field, this is next button. We'll create one method for, actually just put it here. I'll do this. I'll name it get email field element. Okay, and for that and I need to return email field. Next one being next button. Okay, get next button element. Okay, and this is the locator for it. Return next button. So all that I need to do is, so wherever I am accessing these elements, call this method on this object. Okay, so if I go to login test, um, so this is email field. Here what I'll do, I'll comment this out. Create object of this class. What's this? Okay, I am just naming it the object of this class. Okay, now I need to do web element email field equal to login page object repository dot get email field element. Okay, the same thing I'll do for the next button also. See, for next button I don't need to create another object because I have already created object for it. All that I can do is simply do this web element dot get next button element. Okay, so basically what I am doing, I am using the same object for both email field and next button because they are in the same page. Okay, next is password field. Okay, so we have added this element, that is email field, we have added this next button. Okay, since this password also come into login page only, because basically the page did not get refreshed. See, if you see here, I am clicking this, only this part is getting refreshed, so I'll add this also in the same page. Okay, I am not treating it as a separate page. Now for the password field, web element get password. Okay, and I need to change the locator for that. What is the locator for password? I have already identified it. So for password field I am using this by XPath. Okay, or copy this. Okay, and similarly for after password we need to click sign in. Okay, um, okay, sign in button, I'm naming it sign in button. Okay, so don't get confused with this sign in button and the sign in link present in the home page. Okay, this is actually sign in button. There also I named it sign in button only. So that was for so in the home page, this one also I named it sign in button only. Here also I'm knowing it, naming it sign in button, but in different class. By just looking at the class name you will understand. Okay, in home page, so this is present in home page and this is present in login page. Okay, get Okay, and here I need to change the identifier for that. Okay, for mm, password field, this was the locator that I identified. I just changed that. Okay, somehow I picked the wrong one, I think. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so now I identified four elements. What are they? Email field, next button, password field, sign in button. Okay, so this is object repository for login page. Similarly, so after logging, if you want to test some other functionality, okay, suppose if you want to test the function of inbox, okay, draft, or you can go on adding your object repositories based on the functionality of, okay, you can add the repository with respect to your functionality or with respect to page, okay, or with respect to some flow or some functional flow. That is completely your choice, okay, based on your uh, uh, implementation, or how you want to implement, how you want to uh, make things easy. You can do that. That what I'm trying to say is, here I'm creating object per page, right? So suppose so in your application, if you want to create one class per functionality, you can do that also. You name that class using the functionality. Okay, so all that we need is, it should be readable enough so that any new user who is new to this framework, if he, by looking at this names itself, he should be able to understand what it is going to do. Okay, so basically, so in general, most of the people create per page only, create object repository per page only. So this is simple example. Now I should go and change it in change it for these also. So far I have changed it for this email field and next button. Next I need to change it for password field and, so before that I need to create a object of this login page object repository. Okay, so for login page object, I have already created the object of it, so that I don't need to create again. I can reuse it. Dot get password field element. Okay, for login button also, dot get sign in button element. Okay, we'll rename it to login only, sign in only. So you click it. Oh, it is used somewhere. Sign in. Okay, that's why the sign in, this variable name is used here also. The C. Okay, so we'll change it to login only. As I told, this there are two different things in home page and login page. Okay, so this is very simple. This is about object repository. If I run this test case, first opens the home page, click on the sign in. Okay, then enter the email field, enter value, then click next, enter password, and click sign in. It's successful. Okay, so this is about object repository. Okay, I have shown you example of two different pages. So you can add n number of pages here. Okay, one repository for one page like this. Okay, the next big thing is, so you know what is page repository now, page object repository, page object model. Okay, so all that you do is, wherever you want to access the element of a particular page, okay, if there are 100 tests which are accessing an element in this space, okay, all the 100 tests call this method only. Okay, so in future, if I want to change this locator, okay, if I want to do any changes in this location, this location strategy, I can go and change in this single place. Okay, that can get reflected everywhere. Okay, this is about page object model. So from now onwards, if we want to add new functionality, first we identify the name of the page in which we need to execute the test. Okay, then create a separate class for that, which is nothing but a repository of all the elements present in that page. Okay, and add all the elements to that class. Use them in test cases wherever you need. Okay, next thing is, okay, is putting weights. Okay, get all dependencies we have done. Write test Java Selenium instructions. Write utilities needed for reading test data from files. Okay, um, page object model. I'll keep it um, here only. Okay, page object model, web driver factory. Okay, then do um, timeouts or waits. Okay, so waits is very important. So far, if you see, I'm using, see, if you take this first case, login functionality, okay, it has only one test. Okay, so as soon as I open the page, okay, of course I am verifying for the title. Okay, next thing I am doing is looking for this sign in button. Okay, looking for this element. Sorry. So first we open. So what is the page that I are opening? Okay, in.mail.yahoo.com. Okay, I changed it. In.mail.yahoo.com. Why I am directly on this page? In.mail.yahoo.com. Okay, it's directly taking me to this page. Close this, open again.
ఒకసారి క్యాచ్ లిస్ట్ చేయండి.
తీసేస్తాను అది. Control Shift Delete. I'll do this. Okay, I am on this page. Okay, so what I'm, as soon as I open this, first I am verifying the title of this page, then I am directly locating this element. Okay, for locating, if you see, um, I'm using this locator. See, I'm locating this sign in button. Okay, what is that one? This get sign in button element. using this locator driver dot find element by xbar. But this is not an ideal way of locating an element. Okay, so as soon as the page gets loaded, okay, so instead of directly going and looking for this element, it's better to use some explicit wait. Okay, check for the particular condition on this element. Okay, so that uh, your okay, so that we are using correct weights for weights which proper weight on that element with proper expected conditions on that element. Okay, so which avoids unnecessary wait time, also unwanted exceptions. Okay, proper exception handling. Okay, first let me show how to do that. Okay, first I'll comment this. Okay, I'll create a wait, web driver wait equal to new web driver wait. And to that I need to pass this. Okay, so driver uh, timeout, the maximum time I need to look for that is I'll give some 6 seconds. Okay, then okay, next thing I need to do is using that wait dot use until method, then use expected conditions dot. So there are, see, attribute element selection state, element to be clickable. Okay, element to be selected, frame to be available, invisibility of element, presence of element located. Okay, by dot xpath, we need to pass the xpath expression. So okay, so if you remember on that day I told you one thing. See, suppose this is take any web element, it has three methods which act on it, that is which actually give the status, that is displayed, is enabled, is selected. Okay, is displayed, let me print all. The second one being is enabled, last one being is selected. Okay, if you remember, so first condition that gets satisfied among these three is, okay, is displayed. So this basically looks whether a web element is present in the page or not. Okay, the second one is enabled, that means the element is editable or not. Third one is selected. If it is any selection box, if we select that by clicking on it, then we confirm whether that got selected or not. Okay, so this is basically, this is the order. First item should get displayed. Once it is displayed, then it should get enabled to act on it. Suppose if it is a text box, it should be editable. Okay, if it is a checkbox, it should be clickable, like that. The second one being the whether we can act on that element or not. Third one being is selected. Once you select that, okay, then it will check whether that got selected or not. Okay, so this presence of element located by is equivalent to this one, is displayed. Okay, the corresponding equivalent of this method is this method. So as I told, sometimes, so as the page load takes some time. Okay, suppose if I do this, okay, even the page got loaded, the elements in the page, they take some time to get loaded into the page. Okay, there can be a case where element is present in the DOM of the page, or the uh, physically present in the page, but it's not visible. Okay, So when we simply do this driver dot find element by, okay, okay, let me write over here. This is very important for you to understand, because for handling weights you should know this. So first page loads, okay, then web elements loads, okay, then web element is visible, okay, then web element is editable, okay. So, and last one is web element is edited, okay. This is only case of our checkbox, okay. Let me not worry about this last one, okay. Here also let me not worry about is selected, because it's only acts on selection boxes. These two are important: is displayed, is enabled, okay. See, page loads, web element is visible, web element is editable, okay. If we don't use these expected conditions, simply use this driver dot find element, okay. Suppose if I simply use driver dot find element, okay, some locator, okay, it only checks for this condition, okay. So it only check for this condition, it will not check for these conditions, okay. Suppose your web element is loaded but it's not visible, then this will fail, right? What you will do, you, if you want to click on that element, suppose first you do driver dot find element by, as soon as you find it, if you want to click on it, because it is only in this state and it's not in this state, it is not clickable because it's not visible, okay. So this driver dot find element, okay, if I do this one, first condition, this has second condition, this has third condition, okay. The driver dot find element only verifies the first condition, okay. So if you want to, suppose if there is a text box, okay, you want to enter some data using send keys, so that means that web element should be editable. As I told, web element is only loaded, it is not visible and it is not editable, okay. This method results to a failure, because it is only loaded but it is not yet ready for these two conditions, and this method find element will not check for these conditions, that's why it gets failed. So to avoid that, okay, we need explicit waits, okay. In explicit waits there are multiple explicit wait conditions. If you see this expected conditions dot, okay, um, element selection state to be element is clickable, okay. We'll copy this first one, element is clickable, okay. We'll just paste here, okay. Later we'll arrange the order, then dot element, okay, visibility of element, visibility of element located, clickable. And there are multiple other conditions also. Attribute contains element selection state to be element to be clickable, element to be selected, frame to be available, invisibility not number, okay, presence of element located, okay. So if I need to match these three conditions, there are three different explicit wait conditions, or uh, explicit conditions, okay. See, for web element loads, this is the condition we can check, presence of element located. For web element is visible, this you can check for, okay, visibility of element located. Web element is editable, you can do this element to be clickable, okay. See, Okay, now suppose you want to uh, edit a text field. That means it should be in this state. Element should be editable. Then only you can edit, right? Okay. In that case, you can go for this element to be clickable. Okay. So this will wait until this element is clickable. Okay. If it is not at all clickable, even after waiting that much amount of time, it will throw exception. It should throw, right? Okay. If this condition will wait until the status is achieved. Okay. Initially the status is achieved, secondly the status is achieved, okay, finally the status is achieved. So basically this will not get satisfied with these two statuses, it gets satisfied with only this status. Okay, then okay, we look for this one that is ready, then we send keys. Okay, if we try to send keys when the element is in this state itself, it will simply throw exception saying that element is not editable, which is not acceptable for us. So okay, instead of presence of element located, what I will do, expected conditions dot element to be clickable. Okay, and what is the locator? By so this is condition. Okay, so it basically it waits for a particular expected condition, whereas this driver dot find element will not wait for a particular condition. It just returns your web element as soon as it finds the element in this state. Okay, as I told, we need the element to be in this state in order to send some data to it. Okay, so similarly, this is just example. This is the major example. Okay, so there are other expected conditions also. Okay, suppose if you are acting on an alert, suppose if you are waiting for an alert, you can say something like is expected conditions dot is alert present. Okay, if you are looking for a waiting for some iframe, you can call expected conditions dot is iframe present, like this. There are multiple expected conditions. Okay, here I have used this. Okay, so now see, if I go back to this test, suppose any login page test which is using this sign in button. Okay, so suppose this is using this sign in button. Hmm? Sign in button. Okay, I want to click on that, right? So in order to be if I need to click, that means the element should be clickable. So the same thing I am put in the expected condition. I am waiting for element to be clickable. Okay, when this is satisfied, I can go and execute the next step of clicking it. So this makes sense, right? So I am waiting until the element is clickable, then returning that web element, then clicking on that. Okay, so this is about sign in button. Similarly, I can do the same for other elements also. I'll comment this out. Equal to, again I need to give a weight. Okay, here see, here you don't need to give 6 here. Okay, I can give 2 here, because I clicked on this sign in button, right? Okay, what is in okay, for sign up button, sorry. So the second one is for sign up button, that is for this. Okay, so for in this test also, we just open this page, then click on this sign up. Okay, I'll use the same 6 seconds of wait. Okay, so remember, explicit waits are you explicitly put for elements. Okay, so you can create so if you need to put any explicit wait, you need to create a wait object also. Okay, So this is where I am creating the weight object. So then you on that weight I am calling this until method. To that I am passing the expected conditions. So what I am trying to say is you need to create weights on separate weight objects for each web element. Okay. Here sign up button. Here I need to same wait until expected conditions dot element to be clickable. Okay. And what is the element? By, we need to pass the by object to it. Okay, that is this. Then you return sign up button. Okay, in the test you actually clicking the sign up button. So in this test we are not testing function of sign up button. Okay, similarly I'll update this for all thing. First I'll put wait for all of them. Okay, first I'll for email field I'm putting a wait. Okay, so see for email as soon as I click on this sign in, okay, again the page is getting reloaded, right? Basically I am in new page. Here it might take some time for this email field to be editable. Okay, so same thing I'll do. So editable is nothing but clickable. Okay, if it is clickable means that is editable. So for that email field also I'll do this. I'll comment this out. Wait until, okay, I'll copy this. And I need to change this by locator. Okay, and return that email field. So similarly for other elements. Okay, there is next element, that is next button element. Okay, see if you observe this, clicking on this sign in button, this is actually taking a while for the page to get loaded. Okay, then I'm waiting a maximum of 6 seconds for this email field to be clickable. Okay, this is clickable. Okay, then by this time this next button also might have got uh, ready for being clicked. Okay, here instead of putting for this next button, instead of putting 6 seconds of wait time, I can reduce it to some 3 or 4 seconds. Okay, because I have already waited enough for this email field. Okay, first looking for this element, right? In that time this button also might have got loaded completely. Okay, so I can reduce this time here. So this is the beauty of this your explicit wait. So for every element you can create your explicit wait of choice based on the scenario. Okay, 3 here next button. Wait until, okay, now after clicking this, after entering value in this, um, what is the value that I am entering? Login page test. Clicking on next. See, there is chance that, see, if on clicking next, it is taking a while to load this. Okay, so obviously I need to put a wait here. So first I need to look for this element. In order to look for this element, I need to put an explicit wait on this element. Okay, what I'll do for this password field element. Okay, this is the password. See, after clicking this next, it's taking a while to get loaded, so it's mandatory that I put a wait over here. Okay, I'll do that. Here I'll increase it to some 5 or 6 seconds because there is a chance of delay. Okay, so after clicking next, if it is little slow, then there might be a chance that the password field might take some time to get visible in the page. Okay, 6 here. Element to be clickable by XPath. For the last button, Control Z. Something is happening. This. Okay. Now, see, after entering this password field, I don't need to wait much for the sign in button because by the time password field got loaded, the sign in button also might have got loaded. So I'll change it to reduce to 3 seconds. Okay, wait and okay, we'll just run this test. See, the test is successful. If you see, previously I used thread.sleeps. Okay, now I don't need all this because this is login page test, right? Okay. Mm, we'll run this again, removing thread.sleeps. See, it's fast now. It's the test is running quickly because thread.sleeps it completely pauses your execution. Okay, so suppose if I put thread.sleep of 5 seconds, even though your element got is ready in another 1 second, and it unnecessarily waits for 4 more seconds. Okay, but these explicit waits, they don't wait unnecessarily, they keep on polling continuously like in 500 milliseconds, that means half a second. Okay, and if it finds the expected condition is satisfied, it will immediately jump to next step. Okay, okay, I'll stop here.